Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about a feeling that I think is far more common than anyone officially acknowledges. The feeling that your body just isn't working right. Not sick enough to get a diagnosis. Not well enough to feel genuinely good. Somewhere in between, where you're tired but can't fully sleep, bloated but can't identify why, foggy when you should be sharp, and running on some combination of caffeine and willpower just to get through a normal day. Most people in this situation eventually hear the same thing. Your labs are fine. Get more sleep, reduce stress, and they walk away with no real answers. Today, I want to offer 5. Not as a diagnosis, as a framework. Because when the body feels broken, there is almost always a reason, usually more than one. The first reason is that your gut lining is more permeable than it should be. This is often referred to as increased intestinal permeability, and it means that the barrier between your gut contents and your bloodstream has become less selective than it's designed to be. Bacterial byproducts, partially digested food particles, and inflammatory compounds are slipping through into systemic circulation and triggering a low-level immune response that never fully switches off. According to research, this condition is far more prevalent than clinical diagnoses suggest, because it doesn't have a clean symptom profile. It shows up as fatigue, skin reactivity, joint discomfort, brain fog, food sensitivities that seem to multiply, and a general sense that your body is overreacting to things it used to tolerate fine. In one study, elevated markers of gut permeability were found in a significant proportion of young adults with unexplained chronic symptoms and no formal diagnosis. The gut was the common thread. It almost always is. The second reason is that your nervous system is stuck in low-grade survival mode. Chronic background stress, the kind I've talked about before. The kind without a name keeps the autonomic nervous system tilted toward sympathetic dominance for extended periods. And when that happens, virtually every restorative function in the body gets deprioritized. Digestion slows. Tissue repair slows. Immune regulation becomes less precise. Sleep architecture degrades even when total sleep hours look adequate. According to research, individuals with chronically elevated perceived stress show measurably altered cortisol rhythms, reduced heart rate variability, and significantly higher rates of functional gastrointestinal symptoms compared to low-stress controls. The body isn't broken. It's in a mode designed for short-term survival, being held there indefinitely by conditions it was never built to sustain, long-term. The third reason is that your microbiome has lost diversity it may not have recovered. Every course of antibiotics, every extended period of dietary monotony, every prolonged stretch of high stress or poor sleep nudges microbial diversity downward. And diversity, according to research, is the single most important characteristic of a healthy gut microbiome. It determines immune calibration, hormone metabolism, neurotransmitter production, short-chain fatty acid availability, and the stability of the gut lining itself. In one study, this was examined across a large cohort and the findings were striking. Low microbiome diversity was independently associated with fatigue, mood instability, irregular digestion, and higher systemic inflammatory markers, even after controlling for diet and lifestyle. The diversity loss wasn't causing one problem, it was the upstream condition enabling many of them simultaneously. Most people never think to ask whether their microbiome ever recovered from something that happened months or years ago. In many cases, without deliberate effort to rebuild it, it simply hasn't. The fourth reason is that your blood sugar is more unstable than you realize. This one hides well. Because unless you're wearing a continuous glucose monitor, you don't see the spikes and crashes happening throughout the day. You just feel them as energy volatility, afternoon fog, irritability before meals, cravings that feel almost chemical in their urgency, and a baseline tiredness that coffee temporarily patches but never resolves. According to research, glycemic variability, the degree to which blood sugar swings up and down throughout the day, is a stronger predictor of fatigue, cognitive performance, and mood stability than average blood sugar levels alone. You can have completely normal fasting glucose and still be experiencing significant day-to-day dysfunction from unstable glucose dynamics. In one study, participants with high glycemic variability reported significantly worse quality of life scores, more frequent energy crashes, and higher rates of digestive discomfort than those with stable glucose curves, despite no clinical metabolic diagnosis. The meal composition, the meal timing, the meal environment, the sleep quality the night before, all of it feeds into how stable or volatile your glucose runs. And most people have never been told that this is even a variable worth paying attention to. The fifth reason is that you are chronically undernourishing specific biological systems without knowing it. Not dramatically deficient in any one nutrient, just consistently low in several that the body needs to maintain optimal function, and the gap between deficient and optimal is often wider than standard lab ranges suggest. I hope this gave you something concrete to hold on to. Leave a comment and tell me which of the 5 resonated most. I read all of them. If this was useful, hit the like button and pass it on to someone who needs to hear it. And if you're new here, Nutriflow is where we make this kind of science actually make sense. Subscribe and turn on the bell. I'll see you in the next one.